be discussing lab safety and lab equipment, both of which are very important for a successful lab. Closer. First off, let's go through glassware in the lab. Here we have the 4 graduated cylinders that you'll be working with: 100 milliliters, 50 milliliters, and the two 10 milliliters. These are glass funnels, both large and small, and these are 4 Erlenmeyer flasks. The Erlenmeyer flasks come in sizes of 1,000 milliliters, 500 milliliters, 200 milliliters, and the very small and very fragile 50 milliliter container. Next are the beakers. Beakers being in 600 milliliters, 250 milliliters, and 120 milliliters. Why 120? I do not know. Here we have 2 glass stirring rods, very sensitive, and last but not least, our test tubes for your various liquids and so and so. Over here we have the non-glass materials, the pestle and mortar used for crushing up stuff into a fine powder, plastic pipette used for drawing up liquid, tongs for grabbing said test tubes, a triple beam balance when the electric scale isn't working or the power's out, the striker, always fun, for the Bunsen burner, plastic petri dish, probe, forceps, scalpel, scissors, very sharp, and our container for our slides. Here we can see the various components of the lab. This is an electron microscope with 4 separate settings for whatever you need. Remember, for an electric microscope, always wrap up the cord after unplugging it, place it in its plastic bag container thing, and put it in its drawer when you're done with it. Never leave it out unless your teacher tells you to. Here we have the sink, which is connected to our Bunsen burner. The Bunsen burner is actually 3 separate components. This thing, the rubber tube, which connects the two, and the sink. The sink doubles as not only a water sink, but also a gas main. I suggest not getting the 2 valves confused. This is your standard dissection and operating plate, sort of. Removable rubber mat for sanitation. Here we can see several different types of lab gloves that you might be able to use. Lab gloves come in almost every shape and color, and some are even hypoallergenic. If you follow me, we will come to the goggle receptacle, as I like to call it. Goggles should be worn all times in a lab when you're either handling glass, sharp objects, or liquids. Here is the first aid kit. Remember, do not use the first aid kit by yourself. Get a teacher or get an adult before you ever try to use this by yourself. But just in case you do have to, the first aid kit contains everything you'll need for a minor spill. Forceps, cotton balls, band-aids, gauze, the works. Next we have our fire blanket. If one of your friends were to unfortunately combust, just wrap them in the fire blanket and hopefully they'll go out. Over here we have the chemical shower. Do not pull this right here, ever. No matter what, you will get in a lot of trouble. The chemical shower is only used for serious chemical spills, which, thank God, have never happened. Unfortunately, this has been used before. This is the eye wash. This is used for if you get something in your eye. Glass, dust, chemicals, hopefully not chemicals, but just in case, 15 minutes in the eye wash usually solves everything. Here are the aprons. Aprons are a necessity in the lab, not only for protection, but keeping your nice clothes clean. Aprons should be worn like so and tied in the back. This concludes my tour of the lab and its equipment. Thank you very much, and good night.